Hi everyone, I'm Josh from Balance Buddy Rehab, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit today about medial and lateral epicondylitis, or the common name is golfer's elbow or tennis elbow. Tennis elbow is when the outside of your elbow hurts, and golfer's elbow is when the inside of your elbow hurts, but you don't necessarily need to be playing golf or tennis to injure those areas. Lots of people get elbow pain from lifting or just everyday activities as well, and a lot of times it can turn chronic. We kind of call it the plantar fasciitis of the elbow because it can be very difficult to treat. So today I want to give you some self-help tips of how you might be able to remedy these problematic areas on your own. Okay, what we tell people a lot is that muscles are meant to absorb force. Okay, and whenever your muscles get full of trigger points or not in a state of dysfunction, they don't absorb force well. And when muscles don't absorb force well, they shift the force from one area to the next, usually at your attachment points. So what I mean by that is, okay, here's my forearm, and if I'm going to, hit something with my hand, there's a vibration that goes from the hand all the way down to the elbow. Okay, if my muscles are all full of knots in here, they can't absorb that force, and so it's going to strain the elbow. Okay, if I'm hitting something with my backhand like this and using these muscles, it'll strain the outside of my elbow. If I'm doing something where I'm lifting and pulling and using these muscles, that they attach on the inside of the elbow, and so that's where the two pains come from. Either the extensor muscles of the wrist will cause epicondylitis or tendonitis on the outside of your elbow, or the flexors of your wrist will cause inside elbow tendonitis. So the way you correct this is very simply, you need to make the muscles of your forearm supple again. If you can rub on your forearm and the muscles feel like cables and full of knots, those are not supple muscles. And if you're not injured currently, you probably will get a strain or a sprain either at your elbow or wrist if you don't take care of that. A lot of us get this way because we're typing and using our technology and our fingers all the time, and we don't get full stretch out of our muscles throughout the day. Okay, so one of the ways you can really work this is very simply just take your fingers and get in there and massage the muscles, and that can help out quite a bit. To be more specific, you can take your fingers and really make a claw and dig in on those muscles at the outside of the forearm, and as you dig on the muscles outside of the forearm, then you bend your wrist down. Okay, as you do that, it will pull from your wrist to the muscles underneath the fingers here. It will not then pull up to the elbow. You see, a lot of people teach stretches like this to stretch these muscles out. But guess what? If the muscles are all full of knots, they're not going to stretch there. It's just going to pull right where it's irritated again. So actually doing this stretch can make it worse at the elbow. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to provide an anchor to those muscles so that whenever you do stretch and go down, that pull is going from the wrist all the way to boom, right here where you isolate those muscles, okay, right where you're pinching them. So you will start to eliminate the dysfunction at its source by anchoring the muscles. When you move your wrist down, you'll feel it pull more under your fingertips. So that helps to break up the tissue, make them more supple, so that whenever you go to do something again, it'll absorb well through there. And it will be less pressure on the elbow. Okay. Likewise, if you're working, I'm going to flip around here. If you're trying to work if you have inside elbow tendonitis, you simply massage or pressure these points and then move your wrist down. Okay, find a knot and move it down. It's not real specific. You'll feel a ball of muscles on the inside of your forearm there, and you just work through there and find those knots and push it down. Now, in the office, we have different tools, like this is a novel. You can get it on Amazon, and you can take that and stick it in there to save your fingers, okay, and push down. Any kind of tool that you can provide an acupressure point to push on the muscles and do that. You can use the edge of a coffee coaster or coffee mug, okay, that can help as well. All right, I think that's the basic premise behind it. Loosening up the muscles, make them supple, and then after they're supple, then you need to do very careful strength training to build the strength back so it doesn't become chronic. The muscles, if you've had pain for a while, are going to be weak, so you want to loosen them up, make them supple, and then strengthen them. It's all part of our core philosophy, as you can see behind us, MAPS, mobility, activation, posture, then strengthening. So get your mobility first before you do strengthening, and it should help.